process, but I'm kind of an individual that like.
Sorry, that was my fault.
Once I jump in, I jump. That was me. Long story short, I'm also one of those guys that I have to take it by step, and I have to make sure that a step is complete before I can go to the next step. So for instance, if you look at the way I'm going through the material, you see that I'm literally on 6, and it's because like I need to complete what that task is before I can go on. So anyways, with that said, I finally got to the point where we were able to get on the computer and order a bunch of credit cards. So I was able to freeze everything, do all those proper steps. And we had one credit card for emergency case, and that was at 10,000. That was 2.5 weeks ago, and we're now at 79.5 in credit line right now off of 4 cards, I want to say.
Wow.
So we've been able to increase the one that we had, and then it's looking really good. My credit score didn't even get hit, so praise Jesus for that.
Yeah, when you do it all in one day, you don't really get that hit. That's why we try to tell people to do the multiple cards in one day. That way you don't get that big hit. It looks as one inquiry instead of multiple inquiries.
So within the last 2 weeks,
go ahead, sorry.
From the 10. Now I was just saying, so in summary, I've 1,000 to 8,000 in 2 weeks as far as line of it. And which I also found out, this is another thing, I found out that I have home equity of 170 just the other day. Like I didn't know about all of this until as of recent. So now I'm looking at everything going, man, there's a lot of stuff floating around. So
that's big. That 170 is big.
That is. Yeah.
Yeah. So now that you're learning how to build that lines of credit, we just got to make sure you stay on the right.
I just found that one out 2 days ago.
Right. You're breaking up a little bit. Your internet breaking up a little bit, but we heard you say you found out about the equity 2 days ago. Yeah, he got you. All right. Anybody else got anything good going on with it? All right. How's the crazies on the internet for that investment property?
It's still crazy. I actually got to New York this week because I had an aunt that had a situation like you. She had a double stroke. So been helping the family deal with that a little bit a lot this week. I did have 2 plans though. I got approved somehow by American Express to apply for the Amex Business Prime. Said I got pre-approved somehow for like 10K, and I just called them about it and pretty much gave my authorization to I guess run my credit and stuff to get approved for it, and it didn't even hit my credit. I got approved for a new business credit card for 10K and no hard credit pull from American Express. Only thing I can think of is because I had good payment history on my one other American Express. Besides that, on the side note, from going to like local careers, I partner with like a wholesaler and to kind of split profits on some land that I had found, and 4,500 got a check to the same business that my rental property is in, 4,500. So
nice, dope. That's nice, man. That's big.
That's
real big.
Awesome.
thank you.
Right. Anybody else got anything going on? I know the youth. Oh man, they was killing it last week. We had one youth. She just got hurt. She just turned 18, so I don't know if you guys know it or not. Before you're 18 years old, you can't see your credit score. So she's been waiting to see her credit score.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So on her 18th birthday, she checked her credit score. Her parents had already added her as authorized user on multiple of her cards, and she came in the game at a 758, 759 on the other ones. So she's already had excellent credit at 18 years old. She's also applied for several cards. Her first card that she got, she was given 15K. The other one she was given, I think, 9K, and one she was given 5. We also had another youth that already had a little higher line. She had a 7,500 one, but she actually got awarded a 25K card. So it's really dope to see those youth. And it's another youth. I'm sorry, one more. She's one of Rosie's children. She's a coach, so one of her kids, she also got a very high limit card. I think hers was 27K. So altogether, that young lady at 24 years old, I think she's at 78K lines of credit.
Wow. That's awesome. That's great.
So they killing it.
They are. They are.
Anybody else got anything going on good?
Nothing right now.
Okay.
Armando, did you want to elaborate a little bit about the that you were able to get the refi on the car?
Well, we did. We did refinance the vehicle, the Toro vehicle we have, Rogue. We got in the Navy Federal Credit Union. Took us a little bit, work to get it done, but we got it done. So we're just looking right now, keeping our eyes open, seeing how this performs, and getting ready to see if we can find another vehicle to add on to our fleet, because I believe that is going to give me some freedoms from what the first one is doing. If it continues that in that same aspect, I think that we'll be pretty soon kitchen at the joy. That'd be the hopes, right? We're definitely.
Y'all gonna be the kings and queens. Y'all gonna be the kings and queens of Toro over there.
Oh my God. We had 4 trips with our little car. We had 4. There would have been a 5th trip. It would have been out today, but the guest that he was going to take to Vegas all got COVID. So he called and canceled. And I was like, oh, darn, but I don't want COVID in my car. So they got sick. And I just told him whenever he wants to take a trip to Vegas, call me up. I got the car ready. So.
I'm really thinking about starting co-hosting, y'all. So stay with me. I'm still growing on that, but co-hosting people that want to do Toro but just don't have the time, that you actually take their cards, put them on your platform, and as long as they have that card available when it get booked, those cards you want to probably put on a 12 to 24 hour notice. But once they get booked, that person has to give you that card. For the platform, you'll pay them 60, you'll keep 40 of the proceeds, but that money gonna go to your account first, so you always in control of paying them out. So I really think co-hosting is gonna be the future for people that really wants that passive income, but they don't have that freedom. You know what I mean? So just stay with me.
Pretty interesting.
Stay with me.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Stay with me.
They say that's getting big for a Toro and Airbnb, right? I've been hearing.
Oh shoot, sorry. My phone started going off. My son started playing the dance from started playing the Tootsie Roll from the party.
Yeah.
But yeah, we seen you cutting the rug on vacation.
Yeah. You dancing away.
You should have seen it when they started tearing the shirts off. I'm like, what is happening right now?
That's funny. Yeah.
The young man that looks just like you is your son?
No, that is my son-in-law. My daughter was the one in the bride. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Beautiful.
No, but there was a guy that looked like he had a suit on like you, who tore his shirt off. I'm like, that's similar.
No, that was my that young man. Yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was me.
Get wild.
Yeah, that was me. That was part of me. That was me.
How fun.
That's
Good.
funny. She said that young man. Yeah, that was my old self. Out there with those kids. My wife had a picture the first 3 days I was sleeping.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
We seen
That
those
was
too.
hilarious.
That's
They
good.
called me the weirdest.
Resting. Yeah.
They called me.
I tried to help you out. I put in the post. He's just in deep thought.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody else is going in on you.
I couldn't hang with them. They were amazed though that we had so many people in Costa Rica with us, man, and no issues, man. It was beautiful. It was a good time. It's crazy though, man. Man, just crazy. When you look at places like that, their income is based off tourism. right?
Mhm,
And
yeah.
this young lady that was taken on an excursion, she yelled everything almost besides colonizer, you know what I mean? But she was saying that they cannot grow unless they have that, that tourism. And like
Sure.
she was saying that the police, if they, catch a bad guy breaking in, because the crime is really theft over there. If they catch a bad guy breaking into another Costa Rican's property, is not they don't do too much to them. But if they catch them breaking into another race, because they're so big on tourism, they get a high penalty charge. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you've ever been there. It's a lot of poverty. Besides the resorts is it scared me at the same time. Like they were like, let's go off the resort. I said, no, this is the beginning of Taken. I saw that movie. You know what
Right. Take it for ransom.
I mean? I
Yep.
saw that movie. It was an old movie back in the days too, when you go off the resort and they woke up there, your body, you was in ice and they stole your parts. I forgot what movie that was.
Oh God.
I watched that movie. I'm like, nope, I ain't going nowhere. No, but we ended up having fun, man. It was really, I just saw how bad poverty was. And then at the same time, man, like they were happy and just, I was like, man, like we would cry. Like one road is the highway. One road and it's tight, you know what I mean? Like, we like 4 lanes, and oh no, they had one road and that was the highway. I'm like,
Wow, that's crazy. That's different.
yeah. It was eye opening. It was very eye opening. But anyways, Nicosia. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
I don't know that over there everything is like in the metric system too, right? Or no? Do you remember? Were you saying kilometers on the road, or
yes, it's metric system.
Saying actual speed?
No, it's metric system. It's metric system over there. They were taken over by Spaniard back in the day, so Spaniard brought over metric systems with them. They didn't get their freedom, as the young lady was saying, until like 1863, that they were actually independently known as Costa Rican. That Spain left. There were other little small towns of Providence that are around there, because they don't really have towns, they have Providence, that actually end up winning their freedom or was considered free much years later, like in the early 1900s and stuff like that. So it was really interesting to see, man, honestly, especially when you have a group of race of colored people that's still, down that level, you know what I mean? So when we talk about how bad it is over here for us, is, Black and brown people, just imagine what they're going through. Yeah.
Right. Oh, terrible. Yeah.
But Nicosia, tell them how you've been winning for the past 2 weeks. She not talking. When Nicosia joined the business program about a week ago, she's also got several new contracts for her business and a couple of business lines of credit she's able to establish recently. So I forgot, I want to say it was an extra 30 or 40. I can't remember. But anyways, the young lady is killing it. She's only 24 years old. So, I'm very, very proud of her. So it's for her game, killing it like that.
Congratulations.
So tonight, I really don't want to hold up too much of you guys' time.
Sorry, I'm listening to 2 Zoom calls at the same time.
Oh, you're fine. Well, we just wanted to congratulate you for all your winnings and your success that you have going on.
Thank you, Sabrina.
No worries. So tonight I really want to talk about, can y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, dang. Sorry, Isaac, I didn't mean to bring you over to that street. I don't know if you saw that or not. I pulled you over there too. So the FCRA is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? A lot of us, when we hear Fair Reporting Act, we think that it's a government agency, right? A lot of times, we hear that, but it's actually a legislation that came down from the consumer law in the government agencies. So how many people ever watched a movie called The Bankers?
Called the what?
The Bankers.
Never seen it.
Never watched
Never
The
heard of
Bankers?
Is that the one on Apple TV?
Yes, the one on Apple TV.
black guy that he took over. He became the bank when they wouldn't really think he had like a somebody covered like in the front while him and yeah Samuel L. Jackson, right? Who was the other black guy? Samuel Jackson yeah, he was in the movie too, right? That is a great movie.
Yes.
It's
So
for what he said. He has to go back and watch it so he could realize how he was appreciating the houses and how he was actually calculating how to do all that. Because I was like, we can still apply these same tactics right now.
yeah, but you know what? A lot of people don't realize this goes even deeper than that. So to give people that haven't watched the movie, we don't go too deep into it since you haven't watched it, but it's a movie called The Bank. It was based off true story. Two black businessmen that were locked out. They actually had they were actually rich by the 1950, I think it was 1962, and they wanted to go in the banking industry, but they were locked out because of their race. They took a front and added a guy in front of them who was a white guy that they trained to taught him how to play golf. They taught him everything about the banking industry and had him being the front man for their business. They end up getting found out in 1965 that they were actually the front of the business. They were arrested. And during that arrest, they had to go to court for, they did get them for their business. They got them for fraud. So that was their whole thing. They was trying to get them for fraud, so banking fraud in the banking industry. However, if you think about it, that's what a lot of us have to do today in order for us to come up. We still have to put on that camouflage. So, you know, again, a lot of it has to do with credit. But they end up suing the banking industry, and they also sued the federal government, saying that the Credit Reporting Acts, in the way that they allow the banking industry to regulate who can be in the industry or who can have, you know, say what about the credit report, actually created what is called the Fair Reporting Act, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So that movie goes deeper. Those two men go deeper than just a movie or trying to get into the banking industry. They actually help pave the way for what we know as consumer reporting law that we have today. So basically, back in the days, right, in the 1970s, they end up changing the law to promote the accuracy and fairness and the privacy of consumer law. Where we talked about it previously, where credit bureaus' history was based off personal information. They would go to your neighbors, how you like this person? What do you know about this person? Oh, they fight with their wife all the time, or they argue all the time. It's loud over there. You know, they were just based off consumer, you know, people. And then, you know, they started getting, you know, more and more personal details into your credit report. So, which actually end up stopping a lot of people from advancing to the places they needed to be at. That they can be life, career-wise, whatever. Again, these two young men sued the banking industry and government agency because they were prevented to advance as businessmen, not only because of their race, but because of their credit profiles, right? So anyways, the lawsuit outlined many other things. As the Credit Reporting Act that hindered their growth and success, which forced them to con their way into the banking industry. That con actually ended up being fraud. They was actually charged for. Those two men were charged for fraudulent activities, and they were still millionaires. They conned their way in the banking industry. They were just saying, you know, same way that we have to do now. We have to leverage their credit and leverage their credit profile. Sometimes we got to put that front man in front of us. You know, for us nowadays, our front man is going to be our credit profile in order for us to grow financially savvy or to get to where we need to be. You know, we know that the credit bureaus cannot discriminate against us because of race, color, creed. However, we talked about this before, they can use your zip code. So if you have a zip code, it's in the hood, and you don't remove any of those previous addresses that you previously stated, your credit score can have a major effect based off that. So again, you know, the movie has a deeper meaning beyond just these two guys having to con their way. They had to put a front man in front of us. So again, it's a lesson in that movie about us growing our own financial success and wealth. So in 1970, October 26th, my birthday is 27, just in case y'all don't know. So the 26th of October is a major day. It's because that's the day that those people in the law was actually changed for what information was being reported on you, right? The Fair Reporting Act was one of the first privacy laws that were placed into the information age, right? Because you got to remember in the 1970s and early 1970s when the information age technology came about. So this is the first privacy law. Then the findings that the Congress led that the act in, I think it was a study. I want to say it was a study that was done by either Yale or somebody that they were focused on minority based groups as far as committing fraud or looking at credit. So this is all of this stuff helped make the credit law. So I'm a big history buff, so I'm not trying to bore you all with what my findings is, but it all goes back to what created what we have today. So this basically was the first act, right? That among the innovations were determined that there should be no secret databases. There was a lot of secret databases before then that to help make decisions about people's personal lives. Individuals have the right to see and challenge information that were held in the databases. That information, such as expires after a reasonable amount of time. And again, I remember all the stuff before the 1970s, October 26th, big day. They had private databases. They go to your neighbors. They were collecting all types of stuff, arrest warrants. They go all the way back, and all this stuff will be in your secret data credit profile that you had no way of distinguishing. The secret data credit profiles that we know of today are going to be your 6 secondary credit bureaus. But a lot of people don't know about those. They still hold that information previously, but now, we know the big three, right? A lot of people still don't know the little sixes. So, but those little sixes are basically what this outline stopped them from having those secret databases that you wasn't aware of and that you were not able to dispute. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So as we know it today, again, this is commonly known as the credit reports. A consumer report contains information about your credit, the payment history, the status of your credit accounts. The information includes how often you make your payments, how much money you have on your credit lines, how much credit you're using, whether debt collectors are collecting money that you owed, or if they wanted to default, or if they were written off. The credit reporting also contains rental history. Again, that's probably a little more on the secondary, but people don't know that you can get rental payments history loan reporting. It also contains public records. Now, previously, lien judgments, those type of things that any kind of public record used to be listed on your credit report. It wasn't until early January 2021 that they actually stopped listing public records. I don't even know if it says bankruptcy anymore. It'll probably just say public record, but it'll help them because bankruptcy was the only thing that's supposedly allowed to be reported on public record. So even though it don't say bankruptcy, if it's on your credit report, any lender that knows the credit law now knows it's a bankruptcy. You know what I mean? But I don't even know if it still says bankruptcy. I haven't seen one in a while. Most people that come in our group now don't have that issue. But in public records no longer supposed to be on their judgments, liens. Again, back in the days, you can have a lien on your car, lien on a property, lien on a business, and that would be listed as a public record on your credit profile. If you see that, again, to this day, they don't supposed to be there. The only thing that's allowed to be listed on public record is a bankruptcy. And I don't even know if it says bankruptcy, okay? So basically, what this does is provide a insight into your financial status and obligations that you currently have. Those 5 things that make up your credit score, those are the things that's supposed to be seen on the big 3. Again, the little 6s, credit bureaus, we ask that you lock them down in order for your scores to increase, in order for you to control that secret database. Okay. All right, so why is this important? The FCRA helps consumers understand what action they can take regarding their credit reports. We all know that we get one annual credit report annually for free. We want to look for inaccuracies. We also, in this program, we want to not just dispute inaccurate information. We want to build credit profiles. That's removing previous addresses, social security numbers, employers, those type of things. Your credit profile is supposed to be true and accurate to the fact and date. Those help you boost your credit score, believe it or not. If you have your first job from McDonald's from back in the days still on there, and you have a career, you know what I mean? Or, you know, same as with your incomes. If we're not updating those type of things, that doesn't help you. It hinders you, especially when we have these secret databases. Okay. So in addition to the three major credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, we already talked about there are other organizations that collect information for your use. Example, banks and credit unions may use information such as your credit history to determine whether to approve you for a loan. So why is this important? It's important about your credit use when you apply for a credit card. And most of you know, when you apply for a car loan, a mortgage, or any other type of form of credit, the issuing company checks your credit history to assess your credit worthiness. Also, your terms, your offer, your agreement of that loan is based off that credit score. So it's very important that you watch this information. It's very important that you use the FCRA laws in order for you to dispute any inaccuracy. Make sure you're building that credit profile. Again, we have to build that credit profile. We know velocity banking first. Building that credit profile is a must second. Okay. Foundation, the credit profile is your walls of your building, right?
Right.
Velocity banking is laying that cement down, then the credit profile start building that wall. The investment is just putting a roof on it. You're just building your house. You know, we're literally going to the bank. You're just building that house. All right. So your history affects more than just your ability to get a loan, right? Such as your annual APR. Remember, annual APR is mean your annual percentage rate, not your interest rate, your annual percentage rate, right? For your credit cards, your lines of credit, I should say in this instant, all your lines of credit are loans for some people that have to take loans. So, you know, but your credit history goes beyond that. It goes for landlords that's checking your credit profiles to see if you're worthy so they can rent to you at the time. Some employers nowadays check your credit report to see it for the purpose of hiring. And also, depending on state, both life and auto insurance will check your credit score to determine your rate on your credit score, based off your credit score. And it's crazy because it amazes me. You can be 40 years old with a 550 credit score. That means they're going to charge you higher, especially if you live up north, like New York, Connecticut, and all that. Your car insurance is going to be like a life insurance policy, probably be more higher than a mortgage up there. You know, I remember back in the days when me and my wife stayed in Philly, I think our insurance monthly off one car was like $560. Yeah, it's expensive up there. So, you know, and again, that's all based off your credit profiles too to help determine. I'm old now. I get new life insurance problem, but it's not gonna go up. What you mean? It's still go. I just added a whole nother vehicle. What you mean? I wanted it. Like I'm old now, it doesn't move. But back in the days, it was like killing me. A whole nother policy.
Hey, you know, Sabor, as far as what you're saying here on how it affects employers, like they're able to check your credit scores. My wife and I actually just ran into that because my wife was promoted and what she works for the Navy government. And so in order for her to get her top secret clearance, we were about to freeze all of the accounts and everything we had to do. And then somebody just randomly were like, hey, by the way, we're about to run everything. So make sure if you have any freezes to take them off. But yeah, so they looked into all of her history of credit reports, things of that nature, while also sending people out to our pastors and friends. I mean, they were checking everything because of the top secret clearance that she needs for her job. But yeah, it does. You're absolutely right as far as what you're saying. We literally just saw that 3 days ago happen to us.
Yeah, and it's crazy. A lot of people don't realize that too. Like we talked about previously how credit bureaus, we used to send people out to do an investigation on you, talk to your neighbors. A lot of government jobs still do this. I have a friend that he's Homeland Security. He got out of the Navy, went to Homeland Security in Florida, and I had the interview for him. I mean, they talk to people. They want to he called me, hey man, I'm gonna use you as a reference. You know, sometimes you put down a person as a reference on your job or whatever. They never really call them. You just put them down, even for landlord. This dude, these people, the government still actually goes through this, y'all. So it's like
they want to know everything. Like,
yeah,
they want to know. You know, does he only use salt and pepper, right? Like,
yeah, it's crazy. A lot of people don't realize that though, man. I'm glad you brought that up, Isaac.
Yeah.
So the FCRA rules, right? I always recommend every 3 months or so just to Google, you know, FCRA new rules in whatever state that you're in order for you to see the new rules and changes and how they really affect you, right? Because I know I'm talking fast about it, but I'm going to stop sharing this screen and go to another screen so you actually can see it. But before I go over to the other screen, anybody have anything about this that I've talked about? Because I know we talked about it. Again, the FCRA is not a government agency. You have consumer law, but this is not a government agency. This is a legislation. This is our rules. These are laws that are placed that affects you as a person and an individual. So, you know, those that haven't watched the movie The Banker, definitely go watch that. For those that don't know anything, you know, go back to the FCRA, look up rules, look how they currently got started. The history of them is very big for all of us on this call, especially being minorities. So, you know, and how, you know, we don't want to be locked out, how we can stay ahead by knowing our laws, by knowing the rules. You know, that's the major thing. Same thing I tell the youth on the youth calls, it is your God-given responsibility to do better than previous generations. And again, we are not just about giving you, you know, new lines of credit. I want to give you information to make sure you're growing. I want to give you information that you can pass down to make sure that your kids know and other people can know how, you know, hey, do you know what the new rules for the FCRA is? You know, same thing I told you, hey, credit bureaus can now hit you on social media. You know, you need to be blasting stuff, learning the stuff so that you can actually inform other people, you know. And, you know, God knows one day something happen to me, you guys are gonna have to hold this program down and learn it, you know, and teach you everything. So definitely learn about your consumer laws and also your Fair Credit Reporting Acts. All right. So one more time, sharing my screen again here. So all I did was Google here. I always use this first organization right here, this library here, the nclc.org. I always use this one because it basically gives a timeline of changes. So again, all I do is put in like new rules. I just did to 2023. I know it's not 2023 yet. Don't yell at me, guys. I just do that because it gives it, you know, a lot of times if you do just like 2022, it'll give you like just a certain amount, you know what I mean? So I go 1 year out. And when I use this one, so see how I was saying, like it'll give you the latest going down, the latest laws going down by date. November 2030, 21, all the way down to January. See how again, even though it's not January yet. So that's why I use it like that. So there talks about the first rule back in the days was debt collection. I know you guys know that debt collection, it was a big thing that recently changed. I think I put it on the Facebook page. Debt collectors are no longer allowed to, I'm sorry, medical bills. Is it on here? Yeah, medical bills changed. They're no longer allowed to put anything on your credit report without trying to reach out to you for a whole year. After that whole year, they can negotiate with you. Then after that year, I think it's 3 basically like door knocks before they can actually sell that over to a debt collection agency. So, you know, they can't just automatically say, hey, you're not making this payment and throw it over to a debt collection agency. They have to wait a whole year and they have to try to reach out to you. And even after that whole year is over, they have to knock, you know, 3 times. Bad part is they can reach out to on social media. They can't say, hey, be my friend on social media and then say, hey, I caught you. They have to identify themselves as a debt collecting agency on any kind of social media in order, you know what I mean? Some people, hey, that JoJo asked to add you as a friend. Hey, JoJo, I'm calling you, you know, they're not allowed to do that. They have to identify themselves as the debt collection agency. But this is a good one right here because they have all the rules and stuff that recently changes. And I'm not going to go through them and read them all. But of course, you all got to know this one. This is the big one I was talking about. Then October's the medical debt collection practices, the modification of loans. Then again, bankruptcies. I don't know what these are because these are upcoming. So I'm assuming these are going to be some new rules. They change about bankruptcies in December. And again, loan modifications, student loans. I know a lot of, did anybody get their student federal loans knocked out?
Not yet.
Okay.
They've been
okay.
talking about it and we're hoping for something, but it has not passed.
Yeah, my son went to school for 2 years and they well in Tennessee he went for the first 2 years free. And the other two they knocked his loans out recently. So
Nice.
yeah. So I know some federal government loans are getting knocked out now. They trying to fight back with the private loans that you took out. You know what I mean? So long as they're federal, but their pushback is if you had the private ones. I forgot the name of them. I can't think of the name of the loans.
It's not the what is
You
it
talking about
called?
private?
Phospha? No.
What's the private one's name? Oh, somebody wrote
One
something.
of them is Navient.
No, Navient is the lender, but there's a certain type of loan. She said, yeah.
Perkins loan? It's a Perkins loan?
Yeah, the Perkins loan. There you go. Yeah, the Perkins loan is the private one, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The federal loans they're knocking out. The Perkins loans are the ones they're trying to keep into play. So Navient is basically trying to sell all their loans now, not on top of their lawsuit, because I know they had a problem, but then they also sell it to somebody I think is AA American. I think somebody told me. I forgot the name of it. Can't think. They just told me about it not too long ago. I don't want to hold up your time searching for it, but they told me about it. Their loans got sold, and the reason they said that loans got sold is because the federal government loan stopped making the payment advantage. So age vantage is the new place that Navient is trying to sell their loans off to.
Oh no, they did it. They sold all of them.
Oh, they did. Okay, they did.
They sure did. Yep.
Oh,
So
wow.
those are
They did. They just didn't sell the private loans. They sold the
No.
subsidized, the ones that can be subsidized
yeah.
by the government.
Okay. No, I thought they got rid of the federal ones to make it. They holding the private ones. They sold the private ones.
They're holding the private loans, but they sold the federal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, if you're actually affiliated with a nonprofit organization, you can get all of your student loans written off after 10 years. You just have to submit specific paperwork every year stating you're still with a nonprofit organization, and they write the whole thing off. I'm actually into my second year. I wish I'd have known this 6 years ago, because then I'd be 7 years in. But I actually just found that out. But at the same time, they keep selling those loans every 4 months. It seems like I get a new company. I try to keep up with what they're trying to do. I'm just like, all right, whatever.
Well, they came out with a thing. If you work for a government agency or a government job or a certain type of job that considered essential, they public service. Yeah, public service.
Yeah.
You can still do this 10-year, but what they're trying to do is, so back in the days, you were always told never to consolidate your loans, right? Because if you consolidate your loans, you'll give up that 10-year forgiveness. Now they're saying with the way the government doing up until October, you can actually do a loan consolidation, get a lower interest rate, but it takes away the previous payment, but you still gonna have a 10-year thing. You can still do this 10-year. So,
and I think that only still applies to federal only though.
Yeah, on federal, not private. Again, private is something different.
Private, nah, they like you gonna have to still pay that or deal with that.
No, they are rough on the private loans.
Not good. Yeah.
But I think most people had more federal loans than private, right? That I'm No, okay.
I went to an HBCU and was stupid as heck. It's very expensive. I got minimal federal and most private. Yeah.
Yes, same Tamika. I went to HBCU as well.
You did. Whew.
Yeah.
It's painful.
Yes.
Painful.
I got my degree, but now I have student loans.
I mean, it's beautiful that I went there, but Lord, I'm paying.
Right, right.
Hey, let
Well,
me ask y'all, did y'all go out to out of state HBCUs?
Yes, yeah. I went
Y'all
to
No, I
Clark,
did it in
Atlanta.
state.
wasn't in state? Cause
Yeah, I went in
I learned
state.
when I almost went out of state. And I had some partners that went out to out of state HBCUs. That's majority of the financial aid you get either through fast or private loans more than federal loans. So I was just wondering
Right.
if that's what they do.
Well,
Yep.
I went to school out of the country, and as everybody's saying, I got more options of private loans than federal. I did get some subsidized like Stafford loans, but they were literally minimal, like very minimal. It barely covered anything like books. But yeah, my private loans disappeared a few years back, but my federal loans are still hanging on my credit report. So
No.
we still watching.
so hold on. So your private loans disappeared?
Yeah, I think it was like a good, I would say like 8 or 9 years ago. I did not see no private loans on my credit report anymore. And I went back and I calculated how many private loans I took, how much I took in Stafford. And I was like, wow, that part is gone. Because I did all of medical school. It was it was condensed. So it was 4 years altogether, but each year had 3 semesters. So it was like a total of 12 semesters. At one point, I was getting 25K per 2 semesters. So I was like, wait, how I only owe 40K in student loans right now? Okay, sure. Yes, ma'am. So I'm just hoping, they switch it up again and it disappears too.
There was a story about 5 years ago that certain private loans, if you don't pay them anything for like 5 years, even though they want you to, they are supposed to fall off. They can't come after you like the federal loans. Cause I heard that. I didn't know how true it was. So you may be
Oh, be saying that federal loans, of course, federal loans going to hold higher preference. However, the smaller ones, if you don't pay them, they can't come after you. Like the federal ones can, because federal loans you basically never wipe out. We all know, but the other ones you're saying you could wipe them out.
Yeah, that's just I never really looked into it, but I've heard some stories that it's certain private loans that like, if you don't pay them anything, it's kind of like with collections. You know how when stuff goes to collections, sometimes, especially in the past, collections agencies will hit you up, and sometimes people will pay them off or settle with them, but they wouldn't get an exact confirmation. And then what the collection agency would do is they take their money and then they resell that debt to another collection agency, and then they'll sit on it, then come back after you like 3 to 6 months later. It's a similar thing. They said certain private loans, if you don't pay them, you don't start paying them at all. Like say when you get out of school, you never pay them, even though they want you to, or pester you with all those mailings. After like 5 to 6 years, they just fall off automatically and gone. But that never happened with I never heard that happen with the federal side, but I've heard some random stories about private.
Well, hopefully, they saying we're looking at Biden's looking at a couple of changes, so hopefully to knock them all out, man. It's crazy how I think it's certain countries, man, even and where I was at in Costa Rica, the country pay for the education system, especially if you go to secondary. You know what I mean? Like that's
good.
you know what I mean? They go to universities at that. They don't go to just colleges, they go to university. So it's really crazy. I think Colorado was one of those too that they pay for the children education. I don't know if it built off the new system, but like the marijuana thing up there. But it's crazy how I don't know, but I say like this: with the debt weapon program and the information you have now, there is no reason for your kids to be taking student loans. You need to be giving your kids, paying for your kids' school on your lines of credit. That way, you'll give them something. What we've been given before is our parents giving us debt. We come out as adults with debt. With the debt weapon program, you pay for those lines of credit. Let them work those jobs and part-time jobs and pay back that line of credit as you're paying back your line of credit. That way you're giving them something more than an education. You're giving them freedom. You're giving them the goal and the road to success coming out of those schools. You know what I mean? It's crazy how our kids and previously how we've been trapped, especially with those student loans, I don't know, man, it's crazy. I just think
You're right. No, you're right. Yeah, nobody knew. Right.
Yeah, I think it's a better way for us now, especially as adults and seeing what we know now and paving our way. Again, we're hustling for our last name, not our first name in this program.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's true.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna hold y'all. I see everybody yawning on it. I'm pretty sure everybody had a crazy week like I did.
Yeah, busy week. Yeah.
I just no, it's 2 hours behind over there. I'm gonna say I'm thinking it's 2 hours behind over there. So I'm still off their time, basically. But anybody got any questions for this week? I know Renee's having a meeting for tomorrow. I want to say it is. Shoot, don't have me lying. I can't think of what time it is tomorrow. Anybody know what time Renee's meeting tomorrow is? Because she had to work today. So she's doing her meeting for.
I thought she
Oh, it was last.
had to work this whole weekend.
I'm sorry, it was 2 days ago. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was 2 days ago.
I'm sorry. Just 2 days ago. Sorry.
Yeah, she's working the whole weekend. That's what she told me.
Anybody on top of that, I know everybody's some people, if you have a course and you're seeing missing material, anything you want to be added in there, please let me know. I don't care if it's visuals, anything, we need feedback on those courses. Also, you still have access to coaches. If you have a coach that you prefer to have, please let us know. You can send that information to support at Mary Funding. Let me pull that back up. Because I know some people have problem with coaches and they didn't feel comfortable saying anything about it. So just let us know. That one up top. So make sure y'all send that information to support so we can actually get you the right coaches. I know, again, I'm not successful, especially me as being the owner of the business. I'm not successful unless you're successful. So I want to make sure that you're successful and get the right coach and feel comfortable, having the person around that you really want to be with. Again, I don't grow unless you grow. Okay. All right. So with that, let's begin with this here. Let's see what we can see here. All right. How many lines of credit do you see?
3.
Everybody agree?
Yep, 3.
I got
3.
3. Rochelle?
3.
HL Woody?
Sorry, 3.
It's 5-3. What?
Yes, I'm sorry. It's 3.
Oh, wait, 5-3. All right. Those 3 lines of credit, how much are they?
Total
75.
90.
90. Everybody see 90?
90K.
Oh, 90K. Yes.
Okay. I'm assuming we're gonna have that Discover for 20, that personal line of credit for 10, and that HELOC for 60. That's what we seeing?
Correct.
Yes.
All right. Somebody want to explain to me again the difference between a line of credit and a loan?
Line of credit is revolving. Loan is not.
It's amortized, the loan. Yeah.
Yeah, loan is amateur.
Anybody want to add anything to that? Because this is being recorded for people that don't know about our program.
With the line of credit, so I don't know how else to explain it, but once you dump money back in, you have to it again, whereas a personal loan, you won't have it once you make that payment.
You don't have access to it again once you pay it. That's what he said. Because it's good.
Boy,
All right.
boy, say you can rinse and repeat that line of credit.
Yes, you can rinse and repeat a line of credit. A loan, once you pay it, is gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, next one. All right, what is, I have an income of 5,800, rent of 1,800, a card note of 400, and all other expenses 1,870. What is my cash flow? Is that my dog barking?
My bad.
Oh, no, I heard it.
Cash flow of 1730.
Okay, everybody agree?
Yes, that's about right.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check here. That's one thing. All right, so 1730 net cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me give you 1 second here. I don't know why I got that. All right, so car. So the line of credit, I got 2130, but we're gonna go with 1730. I don't know where I get that from. All right, so the line of credit is 90, the cash flow is 1730, not 2130. How many months does it take me to pay off that car loan? Car loan was 9515.
52 months. I'm gonna double check my work here, but I want to say
That can't be right.
that. So go back to the other slide. Cash flow we said was 30,
1730.
and it was 90,000. Was that correct?
Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can get this update. Oh, I know why, because I never saved it. That's why. Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Mhm.
So to pay back 90,000 at a cash flow of 1730, I'm still getting 52 months.
Somebody want to help him out?
Say about 6 months.
6 months?
Yep.
All right, Isaac, let's do this, Isaac. You're gonna take the 9,515 and divide it by the cash flow, 1730. You should actually pay off that car loan in 5.5 months. Again, we're taking our net cash flow and paying off our amortized loan. We're always going to divide. That tells us how long it's going to take us to pay off an amortized loan by our cash flow.
My bad. I see what I did wrong. Right there where it says lines of credit 90,000. I thought that's how much we were paying back was 90,000.
No,
So-
no,
Yeah.
sir.
We're going back to the other slide with the car loan. Okay.
So with the only reason the line of credit is here, what I would do in this situation, I would actually take the $9,515, pay off the whole car. Now that car is free and clear. I don't have to worry about that $400. Sorry, I don't have to worry about that $400 payment anymore. Right?
Yeah.
To actually increase my net cash flow to the 21. That's probably where I got the 2130 from. But I would actually pay, and then I would divide my net cash flow by the outstanding balance of what I borrowed from the line of credit. 5.5 months, I can rinse and repeat. I have my 90,000 back to zero. Makes sense. If I paid off the whole thing out of my line of credit, that would bring that $400 payment back into the household, right? So my 1730 would actually be increased by $400, right?
Hmm.
What's that? Anybody want to help me out here?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Originally, I said I had 2130 on the board. I said, he asked me what was this the sorry, let me get back over here. He asked me what the 90,000 listed up here for. I said the 90,000 listed here because we were going to actually take the $9,515 from the car from my line of credit and pay it off fully clear, right? Now, instead of having a net cash flow of 1730, we will actually have a net cash flow of 2130 because we're bringing that $400 payment back into the household, right?
Mhm.
Now paying off that $9,515 from our line, back to our line of credit of 90,000 that we borrowed from. How many months does it take us to pay that back with 2130?
Mhm.
I'm not trying to get y'all confused. I'm only did one loan. So divide
4.5 months.
4.5 months. So we dropped the month by adding that $400 instead of that 17.
Right, by including that car payment.
Yes.
Right.
So
Because the car loan was 95.15.
mhm.
We were all making payments of 400, so we're going to continue to add the 400 plus the 1730. That's where you got your 23, whatever that number was.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
that's
matter of fact, we have a situation, a live situation on the call. I think it's new to the call, y'all. I'm not going to tell you his dollar amount that he owes on his daughter loan, but he's actually about to employ the same strategy. He has one loan he's about to pay off, right? He has almost $80,000, right? 79.5.
Yeah.
So you're going to take that money off of your line of credit that you owe on that car loan from your line of credit. You're going to do a balance transfer to your checking account, pay out that car off loan. Now, in your mind, how many months is it going to take you to pay back that line of credit from your net cash flow?
net cash flow.
Mhm.
Take me
And that's including your current payment that you're paying too now, because you're going to take
plus
off your.
all right.
Work them numbers. Work them numbers. Work them.
I know off like top of my head, I'm like, all right, what's that payment here? What's that? Yeah.
I mean, you can share them with the balance if you want. I don't want to personally tell people what your balance is.
It will take me 1.5 months.
1.5
pay.
months.
Right. So the car, we owe 5,000 on my daughter's car. We have a cash flow of 3,000. The car payment's 336, so that gives us a cash flow of 3,336. To pay back that $5,000 would take 1.5 months, 1.49.
And currently making just a monthly payment, it would take you probably about another what?
Oh, the last time they hit me, I think they were like, "Hey, you have 15 more payments." You know, like,
so you went from 15 more payments to 1.5 months pay off car.
right, absolutely, yeah. Yep.
Good job.
And then we do that again on my wife, because that would be the next one.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Good.
Yep. Same thing. So again, the power of the program works, man. As long as you're working, you can see the numbers inside in front of you, right? So, again, if anybody have anything they want to pay off, they can't see the numbers in front of, just reach out. I'm here always. Rochelle and Mondo call me all the time.
I know, I'm sorry, we do. We're always stuck.
No, I'm here. That's what I'm here for.
We're learning, we're in boot
Nah,
camp.
man, that's what we're here for. Each one teach
Yeah.
one. That's where we get our growth from. Each one teach one. So
That's
again,
the power of grabbing a hold of somebody's robe and just
Yeah.
into it, and that's how you grow for sure.
Yeah.
but again, you can see the numbers though. Now you have a way. You can see a way out. Again, you just went from $10,000 rich to almost $80,000 richer.
Right.
Knowing how to use a strategy, you can do anything that you need. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yo, I literally, so there's a few people, they're starting to see how it happens that way. When somebody starts to see you have some form of truth, they want to know that truth.
Mhm.
And so I had one individual, they were saying something about, oh, I'm ready to make my last car payment. I said, that's amazing. I said, how much do you owe? She said, about 526. And I said, she goes, it's going to take me about till December, that payment. And I said, don't you have a savings account? He said, yeah, I got like 3,000 in savings. I said, then why would you not want to just pay it off now? I said, and get off. I said, and what's your payment a month? She said, it's like 200 something. I said, so bring that 200 something back to you. Because she was talking about they're trying to save. I was like, that's more money back in your house. When she saw that, she was like, oh my God, see it that way. I was like, and then 2 days later, another individual, same thing. He goes, man, I got a loan. I'm so close to paying it off. I said, how much do you owe? He goes, I owe $356. It's going to take me another 8 months or something like that. And I said, how much do you have in savings? Oh, I got $7,000. I said, do you lost your mind? Go pay that $356.
Yeah, it's horrible. You're right. It's the mindset. People don't think right, you know?
That's the mentality most of them raised on.
Right.
Yeah, on until you come into a group of like this or like-minded people, learn from support. Everybody think you keep your savings for a rainy day fund, but like you're saying, if you got like you owe like $800 to $1,000 and you got like $7,000 in the bank. When you actually
that's
think
what
about it, why not just
and
pay that off instead of keeping it?
Right. The mindset that they said the reason that they wouldn't do it, they said, well, we're so used to making the payment. I said, right. That's the problem. You're so used to just making the. As a matter of fact, I want to share real quick. One of my biggest things, one of the challenges, but nonetheless, I grabbed a hold of this. I said, well, there's obviously some truth because I can see the fruit. So I'm gonna grab a hold of it. Even if I don't understand things right away, I'll understand them as I start the process. One of the biggest things was the whole, you get a credit card, it's got 17% interest rate on it. A lot of people fear that interest rate. And it's just like, yeah, but then you're making 17% interest rate. Well, I've been asking about it and they've been, and like, I understand it. It's like, because you're not making payments, you're making payoffs. I was like, okay, not making payments, making payoffs. Don't worry about the interest. Telling my wife that, don't worry about the interest rate. That has nothing to do with us because we're making a payoff. So my daughter, we got some mail today that they want to give her a Discover credit card because she just turned 18. The Discover. And I was reading through all the fine print and this and that. And then finally in there, it actually tells you how you can avoid paying the interest rate. It was just like, if you pay everything off before the actual balance due date, you won't get hit on interest. And I was like, there's your answer. It's literally in fine print in there. So I'm just trying. You'll gain the knowledge as you continue to go.
Another thing too is, Isaac, a lot of people don't realize, and again, when you're looking at interest rates, most people looking at interest rate as if they're looking at a car, right? 8% interest rate. That's what you're going to be charged monthly. Interest rate on a credit card, even if it's 23%, 17%, is actually still good because it's annual APR. They're going to take your average balance that you have for that whole month divided by your annual, your 30. That's why dollars or cents on a loan. But a lot of people see 23, 24. Oh, my credit card, 23, 24%. But again, annual APR. What is your monthly balance? That's to tell you how much you're going to pay in interest. You know, your monthly balance, your monthly, daily balance, average balance.
Wow.
Right.
There's my night. So
yeah, man. I always used to study, and I implore everybody. I know we've had a couple of classes on it. Study APR and also study simple and amortized interest. It's totally two different levels of hot and cold. You know, I know Rochelle and Armando, they it's like you, Isaac, they thought about the interest rates, and Raheem and Raquel, they'll tell you the same thing. But Rochelle will tell you, once they started the HELOC method, they were only paying pennies on a dollar because their monthly average daily balance was up, down. How much you're paying a month in interest?
I believe we looked at it from January to now, and it's like literally like $53 or something like that over a year, when we were paying like literally $1,700 last year. We didn't even understand to drop the paycheck in there because this was before we knew Sabor, and we didn't even know we had a great tool we could use, and we just didn't know it. Like we just said, oh, we got to get a HELOC so that we have some equity if we want to jump on
Yeah.
a property or something like that. But we didn't know that we could use it in our daily life to pay our bills. Like, and it's a revolving door. Like he was saying, you pay it
Right.
and you pay it off, and then that's there. It's available. So
So
it's
you
like,
started to do the paycheck parking. You went from $1,700 to $53.
yes, I'm not
That's
lying.
gold,
That
I
is
believe.
crazy. That is
Right.
just crazy. So it's like, he's right. You just have to drop that in there because of that daily rate average. It grows on itself. When the minute I drop that payment in there, it just cuts everything down. It's like, no, you're not going to grow on us. So to me, that's like a winner because where can you get that? You can't.
Right.
I mean, and then like the credit cards, oh, that's another thing, Sabor. So our credit card we're up to $300 on our Sam's for gas. We use it, Sam's Club, and it's a MasterCard. And we're learning more about the points and how you can utilize it. And I just got a new credit card with Bank of the West. They approved me for $3,000 on that one, and it's 3% cash back. It's 0% interest for 18 months. And it's only because of what Sabor is teaching us is to watch our spending, stay under the 30 percentile, and we're way under it. We're like 2%. I literally spend 2% of my credit because of the high credit that you're teaching us to raise the credit up,
Right.
raise the limit. But it's like nobody in the world's teaching this. People are suffering out there and they don't even understand.
And
It's so
the
sad.
30% that you're talking about, another thing that I realized as of recently, like I said, I'm just grabbing a hold. I'll learn as I go. I'm just going to embrace it. I thought it was 30% of each individual credit card. Come to find out, it's a cumulative of that
Right.
number. So it's 30% of the 80,000. I'll never touch that 30% then.
Exactly.
So yeah. So now I'm just waiting for all these credit cards to come in, because as soon as they come in, and what I mean by that is once they come in, I can start sending all of my bills in that direction. The mortgage get paid with this one, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
With no credit card. I have one credit card, and that was for my dog in case there was an emergency. And that was it. So now they're all coming in. And I tell you, I can't wait till next week when they're all here, because then I'm calling everybody. And it's like, this is the card you're using. This is the card everything.
And it pays you to use the card. Yeah.
But Isaac, but with that, man, like you have a big family, right? And I know you have a very big family. As your kids grow, especially you have an 18-year-old, you teaching them too. You're giving her a card. You can set limits on those cards, right? But you're teaching them how to pay back. Now you're creating what is a Rockefeller family legacy with your lines of credit, because that's how the Rockefeller family, they borrowed off the same life insurance policy or the same line of credit, and they just paid it back, and now they rinse and repeat. Everybody pays back to it, And again, I think Rochelle and Mondo, y'all up there, right, with the lines of credit on the personal side. I know you have to be over.
Yeah, I think I have 136,000 on the personal, and Mondo, he's got more than that, I'm sure. But it's pretty high. So we're just trying to not spend it, Sabor, on anything. Like you said, don't have the consumer mindset that you have that cash because it's really for assets. So we don't want to get crazy and go, because it really is like cash, but you don't want to think of it to go buy something new you don't need, right? Something fancy, shiny. So we're just trying to focus on building right now with our houses, and the money that comes in with the business, we don't really live on that. That's just for the business.
No,
So
let me stop you right there. I don't want y'all to think I don't want you to live, right? I want you to live. I want you to buy the nice shiny thing. But the first thing is to buy the asset to pay for that nice and shiny
that's
thing.
it, the asset.
You know what I'm saying? Buy something that's going to pay for that. You know what I mean? Even if it's another car to put on Toro, buy that car, and that car going to let their asset pay off, you know what I mean? And plenty more. You know what I mean? Don't just.
And that's where we're at right now. We're in the
turn
growing
around,
phase, Sabor.
turn around, turn around. Turn around.
Yeah, Sabor, we're in the growing phase. There's Armando.
I know, I'll tell you to turn around.
He made it. He's here, coach.
Listen to
He was at the dentist office, guys. That's why I was like, hey,
We're trying to get him out of work, Sabor. So yeah. More business. Yeah.
But that's all it is, though. I don't want you to think I don't want you to buy the nice, shiny things, but be the investor. Buy the thing that's going to pay for that and plenty more. You know what I mean? Don't be the consumer. And again, we talked about this before. It's crazy how people can use their line of credit and blow it up And then soon you tell them to buy the asset with it, they be like, ooh, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah. Oh, that dude crazy, you know what I mean? But if I tell you go buy a Birkin bag or something like that, like, oh yeah. But as soon as I say use that to buy, you know what I mean, an asset, they're like, oh.
Right.
But now you have us thinking the other way. Don't go buy that expensive bag because that's not making money. We got to buy an asset that's going to produce income, or it's a waste of money. It's like throwing money away. It's like burning cash. And I know we like nice things, especially as women. It can be very difficult, but we have to prioritize what's important right now.
No,
Like,
hold up. I'm about to say that's Isaac. That's the difference. Isaac just spending his wife be like, we don't need that.
but my wife knows I'm all on board though, because I don't spend money on myself no more. It's been like
Right.
I won't do it. I got a buddy of mine who hit me up and he's like, yo, I'm about to get a new pair of J's. I get these coming in. And of course they were the ones that I want. And he was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get them. And he goes, I've been wanting them. I said, 4 months. I still have the image on my phone. I said, but maybe next year I get it. I said, and it's
That's
only
right.
that's $130 that can make a difference in finances in my home right now. So yeah,
Right.
I can wait another year.
But you know what though?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my middle girl though. She's a J fanatic, bro. So what she does is she put all her bills on her line of credit, right? And then when she get her reward points cards, her reward points, that's where she starts buying her stuff at. Because
Right.
you know, because like I don't know if you put anything on a card yet, but the card that you choose, especially if it's a higher, like Discover has a criteria. What do you call it? They have like certain categories. So certain categories, month you get 5% back, other ones you get 1%. But the higher the category, you get the higher cash back. So once you start learning how to optimize that, as Rochelle is doing now, she's learning how to optimize to get the higher points and cash back rewards. Then those things
Right.
pay for your other purchases.
Okay. Because what I used to do is when my wife would get promoted, I said, Daddy, get a new pair of shoes. She laughed, but now I'm like, cash reward, Daddy, get a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Cash rewards. There you go.
There you go. That's funny. There you go.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. But anyways, man, y'all be blessed. I will see y'all next Friday. We are back on. I'm going to start promoting for more because I know a lot of people say they didn't know we were back. HL Woody, I will see you guys at 11 tomorrow. I'm going to send you a Zoom link. Brian, I will meet with you this week. Rochelle and Armando, I will see you on the investment meeting, and Brian.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, good night, you guys. Good seeing y'all.
Y'all be
Take care.
blessed.
Be blessed.